All right, let's talk about the real price of progress. Today, we're diving into a really big idea. What if all our economic growth has been racking up a massive unpaid bill? A bill owed to our planet.
So let's kick things off with that very question. Just think about it for a second. What if all our development, everything we've built, was funded by a loan we never planned to pay back? A loan from the planet itself.
You see, for centuries, the environment has been like this silent, incredibly generous business partner. It just gave us everything we needed to build our societies: clean air, fresh water, rich soil, you name it. And the best part? It was all free, or so we thought.
If we break it down, the environment is basically doing four massive jobs for us, all the time. First, it gives us resources, wood, water, minerals. Second, it's our planet-sized cleanup crew absorbing all our waste. Third, it sustains all life, the whole incredible web of biodiversity. And fourth, it gives us things we can't put a price on, like just a beautiful sunset over a mountain.
Now, the planet is amazing, but it's not infinite. It has a limit. And that limit has a name: carrying capacity. Think of it like a bank account. As long as you don't withdraw money faster than you deposit it, you're fine. Same idea here. As long as we don't use resources faster than they can grow back, or create waste faster than nature can break it down, everything stays in balance.
And for a long time, that balance worked perfectly. For most of human history, our demands were just a tiny drop in a huge ocean of supply. But then, the population exploded. The Industrial Revolution kicked into high gear, and that whole relationship just got flipped on its head. Now, our demand for what the planet can give us is way, way bigger than what it can regenerate.
And this is what happens when you blow past that carrying capacity. You go from a healthy, balanced planet to one that's clearly, struggling. The signs of stress are everywhere, especially when you look at industrial pollution.
And if you want to put a number on that stress, just listen to this. In a country as vast as India, a mind-boggling 70% of the water is polluted. 70%! That's not just a statistic. That's the water people drink, the water used to grow their food. It's a direct result of our waste overwhelming nature's ability to clean up after us.
So what happens when you take that kind of intense local pressure and you multiply it over and over all across the globe? Well, you get global environmental crises. And these aren't abstract problems. They affect every single one of us.
Let's talk about the big one first: global warming. Right? This is all about the huge increase in greenhouse gases from things like burning fossil fuels and cutting down forests. And the numbers don't lie. Atmospheric CO2 has shot up by 31% since 1750. And we're seeing the results, right? Melting polar ice, rising sea levels, and storms that seem to get crazier every year.
And then there's ozone depletion. Remember those CFCs? They were in everything from refrigerators to hairspray cans. Well, it turns out they were eating away at our planet's protective ozone layer. Just between 1979 and 1990, we saw a 5% reduction. A thinner ozone layer means more harmful UV radiation gets through, leading directly to things like higher skin cancer rates and serious damage to plants and marine life.
Okay, so we've talked about the global picture. Now let's zoom in on a specific case study to see how all this plays out on the ground. We're going to look at India, a country that's right at this critical crossroads between rapid development and environmental reality.
If you want a single number to understand the sheer scale of change, here it is. Back in 1951, India had around 300,000 motor vehicles on its roads. Fast forward to 2022, and that number is 350 million. That's not just growth, that's an explosion. It tells you everything about the boom in industry and personal consumption. And this growth has created a fascinating but really tough environmental problem in India. It's a two-sided coin, really. On one side, you have degradation caused by poverty, people having to cut down too many trees for firewood, for example, just to survive. But on the other side, you have the pollution that comes with wealth, from factories, cars, and our modern, high-consumption lifestyles.
So when you have this intense pressure coming from both sides, it's no surprise that it leads to some massive environmental headaches. We're talking about serious land degradation, a loss of biodiversity, air pollution in cities that's literally off the charts, and huge struggles with managing fresh water and all the trash we produce.
Let's just look at the forest for a second. To have a sustainable system, the benchmark is about 0.47 hectares of forest for every person, okay? But in India, the reality is just 0.06 hectares per person. That gap, it's not just a gap, it's a chasm. The pressure on the country's forests is just immense.
And what happens when you put that much pressure on the land? The consequences are staggering. Every single year, India loses 5.3 billion tons of its topsoil to erosion. Let that sink in. That's not just dirt disappearing, it's the very foundation of the country's food supply literally washing away.
But here's the thing. People don't just sit back and watch this happen. There has been incredible, powerful resistance right from the ground up. You might have heard of movements like the Chipko in the Himalayas or Apiko in Karnataka. These were led by local communities, often women, who literally put their bodies on the line, hugging trees to stop them from being cut down.
And nothing really captures the heartbreak of this, like the words of a farmer from Karnataka. He said, "Broad-leaved trees which protected the soil have been removed, the soil washed away. Now nothing grows but a weed." I mean, that's not a scientific report. That's someone watching their world, their livelihood, just collapse in front of their eyes.
Okay, so it's a pretty heavy picture, right? But understanding the problem is just step one. The real question is, what's the solution? Where do we go from here? What's the path forward?
Well, the big idea that's emerged all around the world is something called sustainable development. And it sounds complicated, but the core idea is actually really simple and really profound. It means finding a way to get what we need to live well today without destroying the ability of future generations to do the same. It's all about finding that balance between a healthy economy and a healthy planet.
And that really leaves us with the final massive question, doesn't it? We know for a fact that our progress has come at a steep price. So the challenge for every single one of us, for our entire civilization, is this. How do we build a future that doesn't bankrupt our planet? How do we finally start paying that bill?